This is the talk of Music City real estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monte Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carey Ann with CMG Financial and My Mortgage Team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com. That's questions@talkmusiccity.com.
Money.
Carey Ann, good to see you. And Jason Hoover's in the house. Hey, Jason.
Hey.
Thank you for all you do. We have a great guest. Welcome with us, Mr. Gopal Basnet. Thank you, Gopal, for being here today.
Welcome, Gopal.
We're excited about hearing your story because, I mean, this guy, I was just sharing with our family here, this guy, Gopal Basnet, has only been licensed for a little over a year, 1 year last month or so, and is already on a path to beat me this year after 37 years in the business. And
wow.
I don't take that lightly, Gopal, okay?
Put it off.
I'm cheering you on. Don't get me wrong, brother. I'm cheering you on because I no longer want to be the leader of the pack. At the same time, though, it does kind of, whoa, where's this guy come from, you know?
It's an excitement. I love
very
it.
exciting.
I can't wait to hear
Very
all about it.
exciting.
35 plus deals, transactions already.
In the last 12 months. Before we get into that, let's talk about our sponsor.
Yes, they are Music City Removal. They're the #1 junk removal service in Nashville from residential, commercial, and construction. They're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. Whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free on-site estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Yes, Music City Removal, because cluttering cute.
All right, so I got to hear about this guy. You know, Gopal from Nepal. Okay, Gopal from Nepal.
Two different countries. Bhutan as well.
Okay, Bhutan as well. So Gopal,
English is his third language. Did you know?
Yeah, I know. And I was telling Jason here that I think Arkansas is Jason's first language, right, Jason?
Yes, we start out with Arkansas in the the core classes, and then
Well, you have such an amazing story that we would love to hear because you moved to the States. How long ago?
I came in 2009.
2009.
Yes. June 3rd, 2009.
First of all, Gopal, how old are you?
36.
36. You've stuffed a lot of life in that 36 years.
Oh, yeah. We can even write 2-3 books out of that. We're just making that as a history. Yes.
Yes.
So I love your culture because you guys really hang together. But let's hear a little bit about who Gopal is as far as a little bit of your history before you got here, okay? Before you got in this country. Mm-hmm. Tell us some of the challenges that helped you become who you are.
Yeah, like I said, there can be books. If we just go back in detail about the history, about where I was born, where I grew up, what else I did before back in my country, even coming here in 2009, and where I'm right now. So I was born in Bhutan. It's a small country as well. And then in childhood, we were flight to Nepal. Then we just spent over 20 years where I started my school in the refugee camp. Grew up there, and
so you lived in a refugee camp?
Refugee camp, yes, sir.
For 20 years?
20 years. Grew up there.
Wow.
And as a profession, the best thing we got even while we were at refugee camp was the education. Mm-hmm. We got English medium education. We used to be in a very disciplined schools. So we learned that disciplined and in a strict environment. So that actually built us.
Right.
Coming into this country in the beginning because of our accent. Of course, we had challenges even to communicate, but it took time slowly. And I hope I'm communicating well right now.
I think you're doing great.
Look at him. He's on a podcast.
Especially
I
if
love
this is
it.
your third language. You're doing great.
Right. And yeah, and as a profession back in Nepal, I spent 5-6 years as a teacher. So I used to teach
Yeah.
back in there before I came here.
We found teachers in general are great realtors a lot of times because you're used to being patient. You're used to communicating well. You're used to being in an occupation that you work a lot harder than what you really earn in return.
And yeah, I just taught up to high school level back in my country, and then came here with the help of international organizations. We came here in 2009. At the time the economy was down. When we came here, struggled a lot here. You know, I even started my first job here in DoubleTree Hotel as a busboy.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I did for 6 months. Used to work 25-30 hours a week, and then just make livings for the family. Then because of not having enough income, I even went and worked in chicken plant in Shelbyville.
Okay.
Yes, and slowly, because I knew that I have something in me. This is not my level, but I have to do it. This is just the beginning. Like when I came here in 2009, I was like a newborn baby because it's a new language, new culture, new food. Everything is new to me. Even like hardly we could know how to, read these traffic lights, traffic signals as well. And then, but it took time. It takes time as well. But every day, every minute, every hours, always try to learn something and try to do it.
Wow.
What else can I do? Then I started working in a non-profit here. So started giving back to the communities of the immigrant families coming from other countries here. What I struggled. So what else I have experienced so far so that I can teach them back or show them back or help them back. So that gave me a very good opportunity to work with people from different countries, work with different level of professionals, learned computer skills because I have never touched computer back in my country.
Wow.
Like around 25, 26 years by the time I came in this country. So I learned because I always wanted to learn. So that nonprofit, that is Nashville Empowerment Center, I used to work as an employment program coordinator, where I can coordinate employment department and make relationships with the employers, even up to Shelbyville, Nissan plant, different hotels, downtowns, everywhere, and take people with who speak English and some not, so that I can just mess them up, at least get them job, make them self-sufficient. That gave me more kind of like outreach, where I could know a lot of people, where I could learn a lot in here. Then I just did a lot. I even worked in a financial industry as an insurance agent with Transamerica, where I'm still there, and owned business as well in this period of like 9-10 years. I had a gas station I sold in 2019.
Wow.
I had a grocery store. I just tried everything, but this is like people sometimes think like he just keeps changing his profession or stuff like that. But I mean, I had not mastered in anything else back in my country. That means I do not know what exactly fits on me. All I can do is try.
Yeah.
So I just tried.
All I can do is try.
Love that.
Right. I just tried gas station, and I was like, I had to stay there from 4 in the morning until 2 or 3, just selling cokes and then making chickens and all that. And I can hire someone at $11, $12 to do that job. And I feel like even though I'm the owner, I'm just doing $10 an hour job. So I feel like this is not my value. I worth something better than that. I feel like I'm tired. I can't do that. I just sold it. So I thought that these traditional businesses are not for me. I can't just stay in one place from morning to evening, That with that feelings, then I do have a full-time job. Monty knows that. And with that, I got more flexibility, and I was like, if anyone can do it, then why can't I do this? Let me get into this real estate. The main reason is we have a big community as well. It's not only focusing my community. I got the license. Main motive for me to come here is about learning myself first about this and teaching to other community people. So I felt like I purchased the one with this one. This is my third home. The one I purchased in November.
Okay.
So this is my third home. I just sold Bert, but when I first purchased my home, I just signed papers. I didn't know any numbers out there. I just blindly signed papers, honestly. So with all those stuff, I have heard so much of stuff from, and I do speak some English than some of my other community members. So and whoever do not speak English, they come to the person like me in our community, and I'm a community leader as well here. And then they try to show something, they complain about some things, and with all that things, I feel like when I got the license, I didn't see anything complicated in terms of the numbers in the settlement statement and all that. I feel like this is something, if we really feel and try to explain to people, they will understand. So with that scope, I got my license, and I never ever expected that I would be doing this better so quick, but it's because of my work ethics, because when I work, I just give 100%, and I work from the bottom of my heart. I just do not care about the numbers, care about my commission, because, I have learned this. A lot of people follow commission, and they forget their mission. And when they forget the mission, they follow the commission, and they cannot go too long. I know that. I've seen that as well.
It's got to be more than just the money.
Right. So I try to follow the mission. And of course, if I follow the mission from my heart, the commission follows itself. You see what I'm saying? So I always feel that way. I take it that way. So that way, it is.
Follow the mission, and the commission will follow you.
Definitely.
I love that. Follow the mission.
Definitely. I just take it that way, because my mission is to, make families happy, giving them what they're really looking for with 100% satisfaction. Even if I sell 100 homes in next 2 months, I'm cheating people. Even if I make $1 billion in next year, that cannot, it's not sufficient to run my family forever, rest of my life. But I wait, at least, even if I close one home, and if I continue doing this another 50 years, that's what I'm looking for.
So do you found, after all your exploring of occupations, do you feel like you found what is best for you?
Yes.
Real estate?
Yes.
You found home?
Right now, yes. So it took me too long. I tried everything, like I said.
That's all good. No, it's all good.
But
you squeezed a lot in a short time. That's
right.
awesome. Yeah.
So when I started, like I said, I give 100% all the time. I just go meet families. Like when I go first to meet families, I make them feel very, very comfortable. And within this past year, like any families I met at first, none of them have switched agent, like gone to any other agents after talking to me. So my first
So what are you doing? What are you doing to connect with them? Just showing them your heart? What are you doing to once you
so
meet
that is
somebody?
something I wanted to share, because we have, I have learned from so many other agents as well, and this is the business we are in. No one is 100% perfect. I can learn some out of you, and I can share some what I'm doing as well. So the first meeting, I make it very strong. I just don't want to. I have seen so many agents going out there, getting their information, going home, and then first trying to see if they pre-qualify or not. So I don't do it that way. And, there are so many individuals I have seen who always wants to eat the fruit that is ready to eat. But I always plant the seeds. Okay, and if there are some ready, of course we do take it, but if not, I plant. I do not leave that family if they are not qualified enough. I have learned what to do to make them qualify in next 3 months or 6 months, and I have closed several homes doing like that. One family I closed in 2 months home. I started helping them from April of last year. Like they have unlimited collections. I was showing them. I just called all the collection agencies. I wrote letters on their behalf saying they even do not know what collection is. They even do not know what those credit and stuff like that. They do not know anything else. They have no idea at all. And they're not from my community. But I knew exactly what they needed. And I wrote letters, I explained, I even called the hospitals, and they waived a lot of their fees. Then after all that, I just made them so clean, built their credit, and got them home. And those people cried, really cried when they got their home last month. So those are the things, I always feel that things, you know.
Gopal, one thing that got my attention yesterday, you came out of a closing and you were upset. You had been working with somebody who doesn't even speak your language, okay?
Yes.
And you were working through a translator. That's
even from Canada.
From Canada. The translator's in Canada, Carey Ann.
Right.
And he's working with somebody that didn't understand a lot and was assuming that Gopal had not done a great job when he had, of course, because he can't control this market. I don't know how you helped him even buy a home in this competitiveness, because what was the price range, 280 or something like that?
280.
Yeah.
And especially on the one that I was talking yesterday, I sold their home. And that home was, I don't know, whoever sold that home to them, that agent didn't even show the inspection report.
Oh, no.
And it's 3 years from the time they bought the home. When I sold it, it failed 3 times because the foundation is like almost 100% gone for that home. And if they live in that home for another 2 months, they cannot sell that home at all. So we sold it. I rented storage for them, at least to keep their stuff, and put offer for like several homes. I used ribbon homes, several homes, but that's something I cannot control, you know,
right.
For the offer. But finally I got them home. But at least then I went to their home after that yesterday, helped them call electricity, water, everything else, because they don't speak English. I have to get their approval and call them, set up all their utilities, everything else. I even helped them up with my truck. You know?
So Jason, I know that there's some folks I've heard that are feeling a little bit of angst because there are some strong communities coming to town, like Nepalese, like Egyptians, like the Hispanics, different cultures, which we're becoming so diversified, and this is awesome. But some of us old gringos like me feel like, well, I only speak English. How can I sell a home? It's not fair, or whatever. I'm just saying that I've heard those kind of things. But how many agents that you know of are willing to do every part of that? As far as sign them up for the water department, help them with getting their credit cleaned up, helping nurture that relationship while they get over that hump while they can't buy a home right now, because we're kind of a now society. We want to work with people ready to buy now, and what he's doing is planting the seed. I know, Carey Ann, you do this with people as well. You plant the seed as far as helping them get through wherever they're at to get to where they want to be. But I just marvel at the job that it must be to do all those things for them, get them signed up for electricity, and do you physically take them to these places and help them get going, or how do you do that?
Yeah, sometimes,
I think showing property is a hassle sometimes.
Sometimes NES require them to go there with IDs.
Right.
It's no choice. I have to do that as well.
So you take them there?
Yes.
And you interpret for them?
Yes.
To the person behind the desk?
So after you did all those things for that family, they were just not grateful?
They will be at the end. There's no choice.
I like that answer.
I like that.
And there's no choice, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing everything that nobody else can do. I was
thinking the family from yesterday when you left that closing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They were happy. Very happy. They were
good.
very pleased.
Good.
So my point is, when I first go and meet, I always get their connections, and I try to get 100% connection and make them very comfortable where they can trust me to work with. I want to make them feel like this is the person that I'm looking to work with. I always make them, because I explain the process in the beginning. A lot of agents have not even explained what inspection is, what appraisal is. And later, we always, on the process, we have to ask them money. for appraisal, like 550, 560, and if sometimes agents send me a debit card, they don't even explain why, and at the end another 500 is gone from their account, and that creates confusion and all that. So
you're a clear communicator. What do you do to get the business? How do you meet these people? Are they referrals from past clients? Are you going into churches and meeting people? Where are you meeting these people? I mean, to sell 35 homes in your first 12 months in business, that's unheard of. I mean, unless you've got billboards all over town, that's unheard of.
The first thing what I did was, once I got the license, like I know the community leaders, different professionals from a lot of different communities, and whatever the number of homes that I have sold, I think less than 25% is my community.
Wow.
Here. So any home that I sold, I always try to go out of my comfort zone, because my community is my community. I like to leverage myself. And so there's nothing wrong in reaching out to people. I'm just trying to help. So I just try to remember, went through all my phone contacts. It worked, at least. So all my phone contacts from 2009, anyone I knew, I just messaged them personally. I took time, messaged them. I explained this is what I'm doing, all that. From there, I got leads. Then helping one individual. So from that person is the word of mouth. Connected. And that's how I got.
Do an amazing job, really create value for that one. And it
Carey Ann, so you understand, this guy's had a full-time job most of that period of time. A full-time job. And he's sold 35 homes.
Well, and also, we haven't even brought in, so when you came to the States, did you have family with you that came, or by yourself?
Me, my wife, and my boy, yes.
Right. So not
Three
only
of
of all those, right, you have a family as well.
Yes.
Right, that you have to take care of on top of that. And I know last year a lot, not only your full-time job and getting into, real estate, COVID hit as well. So a lot of the people that we want to talk to out there is some of the agents started similar to you, during the COVID time frame. And how did you work through everything that you had going on, plus with the pandemic?
At the time, I just had my license. I was just going through some of these pre-requirement classes that we had to take, plus I had to learn for myself as well. So while I was doing that, I haven't done any transactions at all. Lost my dad at the same time. So, and didn't do anything else. I couldn't do, because I was, even physically, according to my culture, we have to fast for like 13 days in a separate place. Like physically, mentally, emotionally, I was hurt at that time. So it took me so much to come out of that. And from July only, I started doing transactions, and I had to make my transitions from another brokerage as well. But I'm so grateful to be here. Especially, I always tell Monte, it is the support, it's the backup, where you are always available. I always try to reach out to you all, anything I do not know, just to make sure I'm doing right, because it not only ruins my image, it goes to everyone else, to my brokerage as well. Right. I always like to do the right things, and
one thing I love about you, Gopal, if you're not sure, you do ask the broker, and then you don't have to be told again, you get it. But you do ask if they have any questions. You usually know the answer, but you go ahead and confirm the answer with me. I love that, that you're communicating with me all the time.
And I have a great mentor, Jessica. You gave me, she is available anytime. She helps as well. So I do not hesitate to leverage, ask what I do not know.
So someone that had so much on them, how did you break through? Because I think a lot of people that are listening sometimes get into that situation where something stops them cold in their tracks, right? Mentally, like you said, physically, maybe the belief system, et cetera. How did you push through to get to where you are today? Because I don't know if you guys picked up what he said. I mean, July to today, 35 plus units. I mean, that is quite amazing.
When he got his license, his dad had just died, right? He was sick.
Yes.
And in your culture, you have to then fast for a couple of weeks. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah. So I remember that going through that, and you showed us some pictures of what.
And we cannot just even eat salt. We have to just fast, and no salty stuff like that. But at least, it's a blessings to me as well, because my family is always supportive. I have 5 brothers. They're all here, and they all support me. And I have friends, very supportive, especially my family, even my wife.
So,
with
Gopal,
all the support, I'm here, I'm blessed.
If you, and we know you are, that's absolutely. If you were to share a couple of nuggets with another new agent, because there's brand new agents that are listening to you, or people that have been licensed longer than you that haven't sold, but you have, what would you share with them? Is if you could narrow it down to 2 or 3 items that have helped you succeed. We know going above and beyond the call of duty is certainly one of those items. What else would you encourage them to do? We always want to bring that kind of information to our listenership as far as helping them take it to the next level. If you were coaching somebody right now, what would you tell them to do in a couple of points?
The first thing is I would communicate every single details to my clients. Anything else, even I know they will pick what I'm already thinking. Knowing that as well, I will communicate. The first thing is the communication that makes clear. That way there is nothing that they can complain about me, where I can worry about not having a good relationship going forward in the future. I can always expect their support towards me. Is the communication.
Because you built the authority by making sure they understand the process.
Yes.
Okay.
I do anything. Even I have paid interpreters just to explain me from the phone. I have paid that, but I already know, like, while I'm talking to you, and if I'm trying to explain you something, to be honest, how do I know that? I do not know, but I already know that you are not understanding. I know that. Even sometimes people feel like, oh, he might think something different if I said I didn't understand. They might shake their head like this, but I can read them, and I already know they didn't understand that. I try to ask them questions, then I won't get satisfied myself if I cannot explain or communicate everything that I wanted to.
So you haven't allowed, and this is what I noticed yesterday, I thought you were just dealing with your community. I noticed yesterday that you were dealing with somebody you didn't understand their language, they didn't understand yours, and you hired an interpreter then.
Yes.
To speak between you. That's amazing.
And from them I got, through that interpreter, I got another lead.
I'm not surprised.
And he was like, my friend, I have never heard anyone doing all this. I have long message from him. And I have my sister there. Their interest rate was so high. They purchased a home, but they don't speak English, but I do not know what their program, what their loan is, what kind of stuff like that. And then he sent me there. I went in there. There was 4.57 something interest rate. It's FHA, and the payment was too high, and the home doesn't even worth that once. And then they decided to sell the home, buy another home, and I'm working on that. So it is just, I'm just telling the work ethics and about how much can I express my feelings, how much I care about the person that I'm working with.
So is that your second point then? Make sure they know that you care?
Yes.
What would you,
yes.
Number 2?
It is the connections that I can build from my heart.
People do business with people they know, like, and trust. And you're building that trust right off the bat.
Yes, sir.
And that authority.
Yes, sir. So, like I said, the first thing is the communication again, and making sure they understand everything throughout the process. That way they will not question anything else. Another thing is connections, because I just really cannot act like I'm a boss and I know everything and my client doesn't know anything else. I try to create that family relationship, friendly relationship, where they can feel very, very comfortable to ask any questions to me. If I act like I'm a boss, I know everything else, they will not be comfortable to talk to me, work with me, to ask me questions. They might be hesitant. Of course, they will do the transactions with me, but in the long run, it will be hard for them to reach out to me if I act like I'm a boss, I know everything else, if I kind of underestimate people. So that's the connections, that's the relationship I build.
How do you
with
do
the
that with
family.
somebody who doesn't speak the language? Because again, I'm amazed with only 25% within your community. So
Yes.
you're stepping out of your comfort zone, which I love. And many people, I think, get scared to do that. They want to stay in that comfort, place. So you're
Right.
definitely stepping out. How do you create that connection with somebody who doesn't speak the language?
So some even from out other communities speak English. I try to find someone who can interpret. I pay the interpreter and take the interpreter to the family that I talk,
Wow.
and I
You
can make
just-
that.
you
I
just
can
see
make that
You
environment.
just see a person with need. You don't see a hurdle because of the communication gap.
No.
Right. Love
Wow,
that.
that's just-
Yeah, communication. I don't think that will be a barrier to do the business for me. And I have run through so many clients that without any credit, with a lot of collections. So I have seen a lot of agents stepping out. They'll be like, okay, build your credit, get 2 years of job, and then call me. I'll come after 2 years. All right, and next year call me. I don't do it. If I go there, they are calling me with some kind of hope, and I feel like I'm the right person. They called me. I should do this. I cannot give up. If I give up, who will come back and again help this family?
Wow.
And I know their need. I know what is wrong with them. I should help them. I just cannot forgive myself if I just leave right there, knowing they cannot qualify to buy the home.
Even though they couldn't help you by buying a house, you still want to help them.
Yes.
Put them on the right path. I think that's
I show
very
them,
nice.
I try to get the credit report. I show them what is wrong, what they need to do, and I help them. And I have done several transactions already, waiting 6 months, taking them to the bank. I always make appointments in the bank with my name and take my clients and open credit card, and I just tell them, wait this month, this many months, and use only this month.
Guide
I
them,
have
give them
done that.
guidance. Mhm.
I even make appointments myself and take them there.
Plus have a
in the
full-time
hope
job,
of-
plus have a family. Amazing,
in
amazing.
the hope of getting them home in next 6 months.
Yes,
and I
amazing.
have done that. I'm already successful with that, and I like the trend as well.
And there must be forever grateful for that, because you're right. Sometimes it's just that added need of help. Like you said, they don't
Yes.
even realize they got that, possibly the
Yes.
collection, right? And they're in that situation. So that's quite amazing.
The thing is, if I take someone with no credit to the bank, call collection agencies on their behalf, and take them to the bank, open up the credit card, show them how to use, checking how they are using it, and if I tell them to wait 6 months, I don't even have to make them sign any papers that they will be working with me in 6 months. I already made that connections. And there's a humanity, there's a feelings with people. I think they will definitely come back to me in 6 months.
Gopal, I think we've learned some things from you, brother.
Yes.
You're right after our own hearts here around this table, is that we're all about the connection with the heart.
Mm-hmm.
The
I
thing
think
is,
that's-
I don't forget. I always write there. Everything else, okay, these clients, I have to check back in 2 months, 3 months, like
Right,
that. I
right.
already have lined up until September or October.
Yeah.
This person will be ready. I know that person will be ready. At the same time, I'm just meeting new people.
Well, you're building
as well.
your database and you're planning. You're the CEO of your own business, right? So you're planning for tomorrow, which I think is quite amazing. So.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
No,
you've done a good job conveying
well,
it.
I'm certain that I will always have some business to do in the future because I am already planting.
You're planting.
That seed is growing up.
You're planting.
And I already know that will grow up one day where I can just, take that.
Mm-hmm.
So I am still learning. I'm not successful. I can't say I'm successful yet. I'm still learning from everyone else who have been in the industry for a long time. But I always like to share anything I know.
And you've done a great
you've
job.
done that today, and
Yes.
you've taught us a lot, and you make your family very proud. I can only imagine, to teach your kids work ethic and the ability to continue to go, when times get tough, and to figure out maybe this didn't work. And I love what you said, just keep trying. I know there was a quote in there, we wrote it down somewhere, but this was quite amazing. So thank you for spending time with us
Thank you,
today,
Gopal.
Gopal.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for bringing me here. And
Yes,
this is
this
my
has been
first
wonderful.
experience sharing.
Yes, this is wonderful. And I want that book. I want the first edition, the second edition, third edition.
Oh,
Of your book.
Because those are going to be some good books to read for sure. Well, thanks everybody
Yes.
for joining us this week. We'll be back next week. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.